Next, Mary Backstage, Noble Wife. The story of America's favorite family of the Footlights and of their fight for security and happiness against the concrete heart of Broadway. A television special based on the Backstage's recent African safari was shown in the early morning hours of the Saturday following Thanksgiving. And right now it's Monday at their home in Skunk Haven. Mary and Harry, along with Pop and Calvin, discuss the show with its producer, Greg Marlowe, as we hear...
You know, you won't believe it, but I forgot to tune in for the TV special the Saturday after Thanksgiving.
Well, it worked out pretty well, Calvin.
How'd it work?
Did his tap dancing number, and we recited a little bit of Shakespeare, which was fresh in our minds from Las Vegas, and we filled that middle section pretty well.
Seemed to go pretty good, I thought. Of course, when you're so close to it, you can't give a real objective criticism.
Oh, that's right. And, of course, I haven't tap danced for a number of months now. It goes quite a way back. I was a little bit rusty, but I made most of the steps.
How'd you tie in tap dancing with the African Safari TV special?
Well, we didn't try to tie it in, Calvin. When the first reel finished and the second commercial was over, we just came on live, looked into the camera, we winked, and then we said, we'd like to do a little bit of Shakespeare for you for variety. And everybody seemed to enjoy that. They sat back, didn't say much.
I am waiting for Dwayne Pixley to call from the network. He's got the latest breakdown on the audience.
Oh, boy, they get a rating that quickly, Greg, do
they can get it overnight, you know.
Say, maybe that's your call now. Let me answer and see.
Okay, fine.
Maybe it would be Dwayne Pixley.
Probably is Dwayne Pixley.
Yeah.
Hello? Yes, who's calling, please?
Dwayne Pixley, I imagine.
Yes, Dwayne Pixley. Just a moment. Greg is right here.
Fine.
How's everything, Dwayne? Oh, go ahead.
Hello, Dwayne. Yes. Pretty well, thank you. Oh.
Look at Mr. Marlowe's expression change from happiness, carefree responsibility.
Oh.
Yes, to one of frowning contemplation.
He's writing them down. Oh.
I'll look over his shoulder here. Maybe they're not as bad. Oh.
How do they look?
Let me take a look. Maybe you're reading them wrong. Oh.
Yeah. No. Yes, Dwayne. Well, I'll be in there tomorrow.
Doesn't sound too good, does it, Harry?
Thank you for calling.
Well, I don't know.
Goodbye. Well, what
Greg,
was that? That
certainly
was,
wrote
Dwayne.
down a lot of numbers there.
You didn't register very high in the ratings that Saturday morning after Thanksgiving.
Well,
really?
By that you mean we weren't equal to the other networks or what they were carrying?
You mean some of those little cartoon things got as they term, a larger share of the audience?
I can't imagine a big television special like the Backstage's Safari show being beaten by animated cartoons.
Oh, well, I know I forgot to turn on my TV set, so there was one listener you didn't have, or viewer.
Of course, there was a 20-minute section in the middle of the show where I tap danced and Mary and Harry did Shakespeare. That might not compete with animation too well. Well, out with it, Greg. You sound as if you're holding something back from us. Give us the bad
According
news.
to Dwayne, this is the first time in history that they could figure that there was no sampling discovered watching our special.
Uh-huh. By that you mean no one was watching the network we were on?
You mean nobody was watching our program?
Precisely.
Well, the engineers were watching it in the control room, but they don't fill in on the rating, I guess, do they?
Here in New York, you had 0 women between ages 18 and 25. 0 men between 18 and 25.
How about the 25 to 49 group?
But in the 25 to 49 group, you had 0 women. And in the men, I know 0. That's right, Mary.
I saw you writing down all those zeros, and I began to think you were just making a little design there, kind of doodling as he was telling you about the about the show.
Dwayne said he himself didn't watch the show. So I don't think TV is the answer for us.
You mean they won't be asking us to produce another special of any kind in the near future?
I don't know as TV is the end-all. I mean, we could do lots of other things.
Oh, there are other fields to conquer.
Like what?
Yes, like what, Calvin? Yeah, like what?
Well, let's go in the restaurant business.
Well, what kind of a restaurant do you have in mind? The steakhouse or something like that?
Well, they're pretty common. I should think should be something out of maybe some kind of a fast food operation would be.
Well,
they seem
what's
to be
left? You got all the fast food hamburger places and chicken and,
yeah.
And you have fish and chips, and you have what is it? Pizza. What else is there?
That's about the fast food industry.
Is there a big market for hot omelets and radio dispatch trucks and things like that?
I love omelets, all kinds. Western omelets or mushroom,
Cheese, jelly, of course.
cheese.
But I don't know, is there a big market for them to go around town in a radio-operated truck delivering them?
What do you mean, Mary? We'd take
Well-
orders here at home, and you'd make them, and then we'd send them out in a truck driven by Calvin, perhaps?
Yes, and then there'd be a radio in the truck so we could talk to him while he was delivering it and tell him to hurry up and so forth.
Might even outfit the truck so he could make them in the truck on the way to whoever ordered it.
No, that's beginning to make a little sense to me.
Omelets, eh?
Yes, and then you could probably have the truck decorated like a big egg or something.
Yes, I can see
Or
it
a chicken. So the motif would,
now. Yes.
come alive
uh-huh.
to people. They say, oh, there goes the famous Backstage's omelet truck.
Would be quite a convenience to be able to pick up the phone and say, would you send me 2 Western omelets, please?
Are they going up the idea of maybe specializing in scungili?
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 Scungili. Is that octopus, you mean?
I guess that's what it is, isn't it? Scungili?
That doesn't... You mean
Is there a big market for that? I can see
fast food
I can
octopus
see
operation?
kids with the thick shake and a hamburger, but I can't see them with a scungili, whatever, and a thick shake.
No, I don't think the
No.
two go together.
No, they don't seem to go together, scungili and a thick shake.
No. And
You
you
want
can't,
whatever it is you want a thick shake with it.
And you want to be able to serve it fast too. I think
Yeah.
maybe just let's think about it a while. Maybe we'll come up with something. So far, omelet's a pretty good idea though. Oh, let me get the phone and see who it is. Hello.
Hello, Mr. Backstage.
Yes, this is Harry Backstage.
I don't know as you know me.
Who is this?
My name is Nelson.
Yes.
Micklebar Nelson.
Yes, Mr. Nelson.
I'm in the franchise food business. I think I have a deal that you couldn't pass up.
And our friends, still excited over the prospect of opening a restaurant, look forward to meeting Mr. Micklebar Nelson. Now, a short time later...
Now, do you suppose that there'll be room in this business for me to
Oh,
invest?
of course, Calvin. There'll be room for
yeah.
all of our friends.
We'll all put in our money, and we'll all have a lovely business.
I think it's kind of exciting. What kind of a business is it? Do you know yet, Harry? No, he didn't say. He just said it's something that we'd be mighty interested in and couldn't say no to.
Well, we have it exclusive here in Skunk Haven. By that I mean, will we have competition right across the street? you
Oh,
suppose?
I don't think so, Mary. He seemed to think this was something that there isn't anything else like it around.
Well, that's one of the first questions I'd ask Mr. Nelson when he gets here is, will you have it exclusively? And,
Say, there's the door now. I'll bet that's Mr. Nelson. Let me go and let him in. Don't appear too anxious, Mary.
No, we'll be hard to get.
yeah, we'll play it. We're cool.
There we go.
Hi.
How do you do, sir?
How you do?
I'm handsome Harry Backstage, Broadway star, beloved idol of a million other women. This is my wife, Mary.
How you do?
This is Calvin Hookoven, our next-door neighbor and
How
pop
you do?
beloved,
Hello?
stage doorman. How do you do?
How you do? Here's
Sit
my
down.
card, Mr. Backstage.
Sit down, Mr. Nelson.
I'm in the franchise fast food business.
You know, it's such a coincidence
And,
that you called just as we were talking about the very
The,
same thing.
Idea came
Sit
to
down,
me
sit
that
down,
you
sit down.
folks would be interested.
Sit down, Mr. Nelson.
No, I'll just so stand. Want to get this over to you as quickly as possible.
All right.
Get your yes or no or whatever.
All right, shoot.
Well, we're going to be very cool. We're not going to be too anxious anyway, Mr. Nelson.
Oh, well, okay. Well, here's the idea.
I think you folks better sit down. This is going to strike you as a real surprise.
Yes. Can't wait to hear what it is.
How would you like to have a restaurant that specializes in toast?
Toast.
Toast?
Toast.
Toast.
And so Mickelbar Nelson tells Harry what his franchise business is all about, and our friends begin to learn the details of their next venture. Be sure to be with us next time when we'll hear Calvin say,
"Oh, and then you furnish the bread, is that it?"
That's in the next exciting episode of Merry Backstage Noble Wife. Word Carr speaking. New Year's Eve in Skunk Haven, an opening night for Mary and Harry's fast food restaurant, the House of Toast. All day business has been brisk, and now as Klieg lights dance across the sky, we join them in here.
Say, we need some more foil bags up front for the...
bags coming up.
Okay.
Oh, well, haven't had a breather all afternoon.
My, it's amazing how people, order the toast, put it in the foil bag, and run out to the car and then sit there and eat it.
Right. What seems to be the biggest seller? Have you been able to tell, Mary, so far?
It's the toast plain. That's been the #1 favorite.
Toast and butter, eh?
Yeah.
Foil bags, Calvin.
Okay, thank you. Very good.
Here's some more of that pre-wrapped butter to go in the machine.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Nelson also had a good idea on whether you wanted buttered on the near side or the far side of the toast.
Yeah, I still haven't been able to figure that out yet.
Well, it's whether you want the butter on here. I'll show you. You see, this would be the near side.
Which side?
This one.
Well, why is that any different than the other side?
It's nearer to me.
Oh,
It'll be nearer to you. Then on the other side would be the far side. Now, if you butter on the far side, it'll be different than buttering it on the near side.
And holding it that way, you'd be buttering your fingers, wouldn't you, if you buttered on the far side?
I would be buttering my fingers.
Well, you're holding it with your left hand. The knife with the butter is in your right hand.
Right. But I just buttered the
Let
toast.
me see you butter the far side of that piece of toast.
Just like that. There's no problem,
Now look
Harry.
at your hand. See,
Butter
your left
my
hand covered with butter.
Oh, it's the toast.
Oh, I don't think that's the way to do it at all.
300 slices coming up.
Right. And butter them on the near side.
That's
Hey,
up to you to butter them out front. I don't butter
Hey.
them back here.
Dry up and make the toast.
Quiet, both of you. This is no way to run a
Hey,
good business.
Hey,
What?
look up back there.
What?
A lot of earth-moving equipment. They're going to put in a parking lot, I suppose, for us.
Maybe it'll be a shopping mall. Will bring us a lot more customers.
Now, isn't that a stroke of luck?
People can do their shopping and come over here for a piece of toast afterwards.
Right. Oops. Hit the toaster.
I think we've struck some good luck at last. And so our friends notice some earth-moving equipment being brought up a few yards to the rear of the House of Toast. You ought to be here next time when we'll hear Mickelbar Nelson say,
Well, I haven't heard anything about a parking lot.
that's in the next exciting episode of Merry Backstage Noble Wife. Word Carr speaking. It's early afternoon in the richly appointed Manhattan office of Greg Marlowe, young playwright secretly in love with Mary. On the telephone, he's apparently wrapping up an important deal as we hear.
Something like $250,000 above the line, and I figure here $386,000 below the line. So that should give us a profit figure of somewhere around $6,836,000 for 13 weeks. Yes. Well, my projection here would be over a period of 2 years, something like $44 million net. Mm-hmm. Right. Goodbye. Yes?
Mr. Marlowe, there's a Harry backstage to see you.
Oh, send them right in.
Thank you.
Come in,
Hello, Mr. Marlowe.
Harry.
Do you remember me, Harry Backstage Jr.?
Why, Harry Backstage Jr.
Guess you thought it was my dad, the famous Broadway star, beloved
Well,
idol of a million other women.
I certainly did.
This is my friend Neil. Neil,
Hi.
say hello to Greg
Hi.
Marlowe,
Hi,
young
Mr.
playwright
Marlowe.
secretly in love with my mother.
Hello there.
Hello, Neil. No, I haven't seen you, Harry Jr., since Oh, I guess your christening.
Yeah,
It's changed quite a bit.
I don't remember that. I've been away for a while.
Yeah, he's been away, Mr. Marlowe, for a long time. You
And
know
I
where he
came-
was? He was digging
I'll tell him, Neil.
For exotic shells and dry tortugas.
I was digging for exotic shells, and you'll never guess where, Mr. Marlowe.
Where, dry tortugas?
Dry tortugas.
Mm-hmm.
And I came home to Skunk Haven. I saw the lights on, came in, and lo and behold, there's my schoolmate, Neil.
I was there, and nobody else was there. And he said to me, he said, Mr. Marlowe, he said, Neil, where's my parents? Well, that's a funny question to ask because they've been wondering where you were. You haven't been in school since September, I said to him.
And then Neil said, I haven't seen these parents of yours for the past several weeks, and I'd suggest you go to Greg Marlowe, young playwright secretly in love with Mary, and ask him where they are.
Mr. Marlowe, we don't know where the backstages are. That is the parents.
That's what we've come here for, to find out.
Say, come to think of it, I haven't seen Harry or Mary for weeks now. I don't know where they are.
So Harry Jr. and his friend Neil appeal to Greg Marlowe for help in locating Harry's parents. Greg offers his assistance when our story continues and we hear him say,
Put that cigar back in the box.
That's in the next exciting episode of Mary Backstage Noble Wife. Word Carr speaking. Just as things at the House of Toast seemed to be running smoothly, Mary, Harry, Pop, and Calvin were shanghaied by Captain Wolf Larsen aboard his pirate ship, the Rita B. Now, nearly 24 hours at sea, the captain calls for all hands on deck as we hear...
Now then, I want you all to listen and listen real hard. I'm handing out some chores today to my new crew members. Now then, you, Ms. Backstage, you're handy with a paintbrusher here.
Mary's a very good painter, Captain Larsen.
I've done, kitchens and bedrooms, things like that.
Very good. Then, you're just the one we want to get up there and paint the crow's nest.
Why, that's a good 100 feet in the air, Captain Larsen, up that mast.
How do I get up there?
Why, you climb up, ma'am. See, there's a rope ladder there. You just scoot right up till you get to the crow's nest.
Well, Captain Larsen, Mary's always been afraid of heights. I don't know whether she could climb that rope ladder with a
I always
bucket
get
of paint.
a little dizzy on a step ladder. Never mind climbing up a rope ladder to the crow's nest.
I'll volunteer for it, Captain Larsen.
No, I don't want no volunteers around here. When I want volunteers, I'll certainly be asking for volunteers.
Better be quiet, Pop.
Why?
You all right, Pop?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Anybody else want to volunteer to paint the crow's nest?
No, I guess Mary's got the job, Captain
I
Larsen.
don't think I want to do it. Have you got any assignments for me?
Yeah, now I want you to go below to the galley and report to the good cook down there and tell him that you're ready for work. Hard work.
Yes, sir.
How about me, Captain Larsen? Maybe
No,
you'd like the
then.
deck scraped or something.
No, I have something better for you now, Backstage.
Oh,
the
good.
bilges need to be pumped,
The bilges.
aired, and then painted a seagoing gray.
Now, where would they be, Captain Larsen? Which direction?
Well, Blacktooth will show you to the bilge a little bit later. When I count 3, you're all going to hop to your job anyway.
Now then, let me see. I'm going to go to the galley.
I'm going to go to the crow's nest.
I'm going to be shown to the bilges.
What's Pop going to do?
Yeah, what am I going to do?
You're going to go to the galley, too. You and Calvin here are going to work with the good cook down there.
Hey, I think we got a pretty good assignment, Calvin. Sorry about the bilges, Harry.
Oh, well,
Funny
they're not
that-
that bad.
Funny that they would go below decks or to the kitchen or galley, whatever they call it, and he gives me this awful job of climbing up 100 and some odd feet on a... Well, it doesn't
Well, I guess
seem right.
he thinks it's an easy job, Mary, so better make the best of it.
All right, now, you all got your assignments, ain't you?
Yep, we do.
All right. When I count 3, move. What?
And so Captain Larsen hands out the assignments to our friends, and Mary begins to climb the rope ladder to the crow's nest. You'll want to be here next time when we'll hear Calvin say,
Would you pass the salt, please?
That's in the next exciting episode of Merry Backstage Noble Wife. Word Carr speaking. Aboard the pirate ship Rita B., Captain Wolf Larson has had a change of heart and has invited everyone to attend a gala party in the grand saloon of the vessel. And as we join our friends, we hear,
I think we ought to have a party on this here tub.
Yeah, that's a good idea, Captain
Oh,
Larson.
how exciting. I love a party at sea and lovely dance and everything.
Yeah, it's a long time since we've heard any music or really had a happy time.
Now then, what'll we do for music? Anybody
Well,
here play an instrument?
I didn't bring my harmonica. Maybe I could find one someplace.
I play violin, but I never take it with me.
I can play the piano a little bit, but I see you don't have one here in the grand saloon.
I can play on the linoleum.
You hear that, Captain Larson?
I like a young man with a good sense of humor.
Oh, Calvin's got a good sense of humor, all right.
Play on the linoleum.
Maybe you have some other members of your crew that could be musicians, Captain. Do you know about that?
Well, now, do you have any suggestions?
No, I don't. Calvin, you're a good hummer. You could hum some music. You too, Bob.
Well, I don't know whether it'd be dance music or not.
What do you mean, there's no instruments on board? Anybody could play, like the saxophone or a banjo or electric guitar or
It
anything?
appears that way.
Well, I suppose I could hum.
Give us a sample of how it would
Wait
sound,
a minute.
Calvin.
Let me just see if I can visualize this. You mean we'll have a dance here on the Rita B in my saloon, and the music will be humming?
That's what we're suggesting, Captain Larson.
Well, let me see what it sound like. Calvin, are you the hummer?
Well, I could hum, yes.
I am too, but I can't remember a good dance
Listen,
song.
I don't have any license for music here, so you better hum public domain music.
Oh, that'll make it easier. How about take me out to the ball game for
I
a
could hum to
starter?
that, sure. Do-dum-dum, do-do,
Here, let's dance, Harry.
All right, Harry. I'll lead.
How do you like it, Captain Larson?
Not bad at all.
Oh,
How many of these public domain songs can you hum?
Oh, I guess there's quite a few of them.
Oh, I'm thinking offhand, there's like Annie Laurie and,
Old folks at home,
Old
all
Folks
those
at
Stephen Foster
Home.
things are PD.
Are they really?
Sure.
Well, so
we'll
we
have
wouldn't have any trouble filling up a little, well, maybe 3 or 4 dances.
And a short while later,
Dum 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 dee dee dum 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 dum.
Oh, how'd you like that,
That
Barry?
means end of the dance when I go dump diddy dump dump.
oh, that was
Oh,
very
I
good.
didn't know what that was.
Fine.
Sit over here, Mary. Down at
Pretty
this,
good
table.
humming there. So, sit down here. Enjoy some of the punch that Begally made up
Oh,
for me.
very good. We are having such a good time, Captain
Oh,
Larson.
it really is. So
Yeah.
exciting.
It's hard to believe that we may see the dry Tortugas tomorrow.
So Mary and Harry, Calvin and Pop enjoy a feeling of well-being in the grand saloon of the Rita B. In our next episode, there's a hint of what the future holds when we'll hear Mary say,
Stop it, Greg.
That's in the next exciting episode of Mary Backstage Noble Wife. Word Carr speaking. It's holiday time in Skunkhaven, and Mary, Harry, Pop, and Calvin are just settling down in the backstage living room after a delicious dinner prepared by Mary. Their thoughts turn to other times and other holiday seasons as we hear Calvin ruminate.
I remember though when I was a youngster,
you wouldn't even think of Christmas until Thanksgiving was over and out of the way. But now it seems like they start thinking about it in October.
Mary, we've never taken a vacation at holiday time. I wonder if maybe this would be the year to, well, go south, take a cruise or something.
Yes, acting has always been... always been a challenge. Even when I was a young girl, I always thought that acting on the stage would be just the thing for me. I never knew it was such hard work.
I like the wintertime because you could get out on the hills and ski. You could go out on the ponds and skate if you've got your skates sharpened. And then come back to a nice warm cup of cocoa and good cheer around the hearth. One of the most pleasant experiences I've ever had, I think.
Well, of course, there are always those people who had their Christmas presents purchased in July and August, thinking ahead. Well, I don't know. I never could get in the mood for Christmas until, well, at the beginning of December.
They've got some wonderful cruises down through the Caribbean, cruises that allow you to stay on the boat all the time you're away. You use the boat as your hotel. It makes a lot of sense.
Yes, acting school was a great help to me. As I think back now, it helped me, know what to do with my hands when I was on stage. A little thing like that can be so awkward if you're not taught and trained.
Of course, if you don't like hot cocoa, you could have hot cider. That's good, too, with a cinnamon stick in it or something of that sort around the hearth.
But I don't know. Christmas is different than it used to be now anyway. Of course, everything is different. Nothing is the same.
I think I'll look into those cruises on Monday.
I think I might take another acting course, too.
I got to get my skates sharpened.
And I got to check my Christmas list.
So our friends sit discussing happy memories and plans for the future. And you'll want to join us next time when we'll hear Greg Marlowe say,
"Out here in the kitchen, Mary, I'd like to see you for just a minute."
That's in the next exciting episode of Mary Backstage Noble Wife. Word Carr speaking. Next, Mary Backstage Noble Wife. The story of America's favorite family of the Footlights and of their fight for security and happiness against the concrete heart of Broadway. Back safely from their adventures in the Dry Tortugas, Mary and Harry are concentrating on a return to their theatrical career by way of a television game show to be produced by Greg Marlowe. As we join them, they're in the studios of Amalgamated Broadcasting discussing the format of the program with the director, Phil Fish, who says,
"First, let me say how nice it is to be working with you two people again. I was sorry that your last series, Mr. and Mrs. Broadway, didn't go longer than it did."
Well, it was one of those things.
Oh, yes, and we were getting pretty tired of it anyway, Phil.
Well, we decided after that failure that it was the time of day. We're on at 5:30 a.m.
Yes, I know you were.
And you don't have many viewers at that time of day. I don't care what anybody says.
And besides, the big thing right now isn't so much a talk show as it is a game show. Big money, big prizes, a lot of fun.
Well, look, I think we'll have the big archway where the contestants come onto the stage right over there where that carpenter's standing.
Oh, that's nice.
That would put you, Mrs. Bax, may I call you Mary?
Please.
Mary, that would put you over here to the stage left. And Harry, I think you would be at the other side, stage right.
Now, I'm going to play the organ, all the funny music when the contestant comes on, and then when they give a wrong answer, I'll have kind of a funny, sour note to play on the organ. Where will I be seated?
Adds a little humor. You'll be right over there, just off the edge of the stage where you can see the program in a monitor or a little television set.
Will I ever get on camera, Mr. Fay?
Oh, I'm sure we'll see that you do, Calvin.
Well, it's not that I care particularly. I just know the mother of me would be a little thrilled or delighted to see me on the TV set.
She'll be tuned in. Incidentally, when is this scheduled to begin, Phil? Do you know?
No, Mr. Marlowe hasn't told me that either. There are quite a few loose ends, I think, that have to be cleared up before we start.
Oh, one thing I wanted to ask you.
Yes?
Have you decided on the time of day for this show?
Oh, I think this will be on early evening, maybe 7:30 or so.
Oh, that's a good time.
Oh, that's a great time. We'll get everybody for it.
Now you want us to have a regular run-through, is that it?
That's right, Mary. We'll just feel loose about it. Calvin, you'll announce the opening of the show, and then you'll go over there and come in as the sample contestant. This is just a run-through, you know.
Yes, I understand. Now, where will I do the announcing? Into what microphone? And then where will I go to come out then as the first contestant?
You'll use that microphone just off stage to your left.
Uh-huh.
Then you'll come through the arch in the center of the stage down to where Mary and Harry sit at the question desk.
I see.
And as I understand it, we're going to have 3 rounds of questions, Phil, is that right? No, just one question, the qualifying question. Then they go on to identify the tune, and then they estimate the number of kernels in that barrel of popping corn.
All
so
right.
go and take your place. I'll go into the control room, and we'll start off just as if this was a real show.
All right.
Go ahead.
Now it's time for Pick Your Brains with Harry and Mary Backstage. And now here they are, the human encyclopedias, Mr. and Mrs. Backstage.
Thank you very much, Calvin Hoogerman.
Thank you, Calvin. And hello again, game lovers, and welcome to Pick Your Brains.
Oh, we're going to have fun here tonight, and we're going to meet some wonderful contestants. Let's bring the first one right out here now.
Hello, I'm Calvin Hoogerman. I'm Calvin Hoogerman. I'm Calvin Hoogerman.
If you give us a correct answer, you'll hear this. And if you give us an incorrect answer, you'll hear this. Now, we have 3 rounds, a qualifying question, then a song to identify, and then you have to estimate the popping corn. Do you want to pick a category for your first question?
Okay. Articles of the Confederation.
No, that's the answer. You're reading the answer, Calvin. Here's the subject up here.
American Revolution.
American Revolution. All right, Mr. Hoogerman, for your first question. Between 1777 and 1781, as a result of the Revolution, the 13 colonies adopted a code of laws under which they attempted but failed to govern themselves. These laws were known by a specific name. What was it?
You have 10 seconds, Mr. Hoogerman.
1, 2, 3, 4.
The Articles of Confederation.
Right! You are right. Very good. And you can go along now to identify the tune, the second part of your Pick Your Brains game show. We're going to ask Mr. Music over there. You're Mr. Music,
I'm Mr. Music
right.
in reality.
Well, for this practice, you'll have to run over and play.
Let me run over to the organ.
We're going to ask Mr. Music over there at the organ to play a part of a very familiar song, and you're to identify that song. Are you ready, Mr. Hoogerman?
I'm ready to play the
Over
song.
here into the microphone, Calvin.
What?
Come over here and answer.
Oh, wait a minute.
Now, you all ready for your identifying tune?
Yes, sir.
All right. And here is your song to identify. All right, now, what was that song, Mr. Hoogerman? Back over to this microphone, Calvin.
All right, I'll tell you.
Now, you heard Mr. Music play part of a very familiar song.
Could I
See if you can identify it.
could I hear that once more?
Yes, of course. Mr. Music, I wonder if you'd play those few notes once more. Here they are, Mr. Hoogerman. Listen closely. Oh, wait. I was talking while he was playing. Let's try it again from over here. Listen very closely now, Mr. Hoogerman, as Mr. Music plays those few notes.
Oh, wait a minute. You gotta give me... I'm out of breath.
Oh, I don't blame you. So am I.
Where am I? Am I a contestant or Mr. Music?
You're a contestant now, but when I say Mr. Music, you're Mr. Music.
Well, what is the next thing I do? Am I Mr. Music?
Mr. Music, you
All
play
right.
the song.
All right.
All right. Now, Mr. Music, will you play that tune, please? All right, now. Now, Mr. Hoogerman, you have 5 seconds to identify that melody. What was it?
I don't know.
And so rehearsals go on for the Backstage's television game show, Pick Your Brains. But there's a surprise in store next time when we'll hear Greg Marlowe say,
I have big news for you.
that's in the next exciting episode of Mary Backstage Noble Wife. Word Carr speaking. At the television studios of Amalgamated Broadcasting, Mary, Harry, Pop, and Calvin are discussing their forthcoming game show, Pick Your Brains, as the producer, Greg Marlowe, secretly in love with Mary, arrives with some big news.
Well, I have big news, but it's not necessarily good news. I wonder if you could all come around here.
Oh,
Yeah, sure, Greg.
Right, Mr. Marlowe.
Seem to be wrong, sir.
You've got a kind of a confused expression on your face.
hope it has nothing to do with the show.
No, does it, Greg?
Well, it does, in a certain respect, have something to do with the show.
We just had a pretty good run-through with Calvin here doubling as Mr. Music, which he will be on the show, and as a dummy contestant.
Oh, did you? Well,
Got good reaction from the crew, too, Mr. Marlowe. They all applauded and laughed.
They seem to think that it moved nicely. Of course, a run-through is never an actual measure for the product itself, the show itself. Encouraging. Yes, we thought it was good.
And, of course, once we get to put the sponsor's message in the right place in the show, it'll look more professional than it does right now. Right now, it's kind of scraggly.
that brings me to the point.
What, scraggly?
No, the commercial. I had a deal, I thought, arranged with a big nut person. By that I mean big nut man.
Yes.
And it was going to be his first advertising on television, this particular show. And,
Well, come on, Mr. Marlowe. Speed it up a little bit. Don't keep us waiting in suspense like this.
You mean he's had second thoughts? Is that it, Mr. Marlowe?
He doesn't want to sponsor the show now, is that it, Greg?
Well, his accountant advised him that this was not the right time to go on the air with nut commercials.
Gee, you know, you're kind of dashing our enthusiasm, our elan, right to the floor.
I beg your pardon?
I say you're kind of dampening our elan that we had for the show.
Yeah, that's the way I was going to say it. Our elan was really dampened.
I mean, we kind of hit a high point there in our run-through.
It isn't often that we get our elan dampened, but when it is, it's serious.
My elan is dampened somewhat, too, although I'm not in the show.
Well, my, of course, elan was completely destroyed when I heard that news. However, I have something else on the hook, and it may work. Let me ask you this.
Yes, Greg.
Would you all be willing to go on the air on a sustaining basis?
And so Greg gets to the crux of the problem and asks if our friends would go on the air unsponsored. You'll learn the answer in the next episode when we'll hear Mary say,
Not on your life.
That's in the next exciting episode of Mary Backstage Noble Wife. Word Carr speaking. Abandoning television, Mary and Harry are returning to the stage, opening a summer theater tour of their hit Westchester Furioso in Meredith, New Hampshire. Now, aboard the old Mal Hallett band bus, driven by Harry, Greg and Mary study the road map as we hear Calvin say,
What kind of a bus is this? A twin coach? Looks like.
I don't really know, Calvin.
I haven't made these in a long time.
No, I can tell that. This must be 30 years old anyway.
Still says Mal Hallett on the front. And look here, somebody in with a pencil or a dark pen, ink or something, has written Canterbury Lake Park, 1936.
Here's another one over here. Look, they wrote this in green chalk. It says, Nuttings on the Charles, 1937.
Boy, do you know about that?
Oh, that band got around all right.
Sure they did. Look at this one here, Pittsburgh, Massachusetts. Oh, my goodness.
There's Norumbega Park.
Keep your eyes on the road, Harry.
Oh, Greg.
Yeah.
He's back with Mary there, Harry.
Oh.
I was just going over the road map here.
Yes. Do you know how far we are away from our destination?
Well, we're up through Billerica now. I suppose we should be getting up Nashua in about half an hour or so.
Uh-huh.
Then we'll be up into Meredith another 40 minutes after that. So I don't think we have too much time.
You gonna pass that truck, Harry?
Well, I was going to try to. You think I've got room enough? I'll give him the horn again. Maybe he'll pull over.
Careful, don't want to get in any trouble now.
You better not pass, Harry. I think I see a police car back there, back of that car behind us.
All right. Well, I'll stay in line.
Be careful now while you're driving here. We don't want any nonsense up there, do we?
Righto, Mary.
Hey, I think that police car is signaling you to pull over, Harry.
Yes, I think he is. He's not using his siren, though. Oh, yes, he is.
I don't think they want us. They probably want that car ahead with those 4 guys. Oh, no, they want us.
It's us. I'll pull over here. Wonder what he possibly could want. Yes, officer?
Yes. Where do you think you're going?
Why, we're going to Meredith, New Hampshire. We're the cast and crew of Westchester Furioso. I'm Harry Backstage,
How do you
famous
do?
Broadway star,
You
beloved
know,
idol of a million other women, and this is my wife, Mary.
We have kids in this town, and we want to keep them.
Well, of course you do.
Well, I mean, what would the kids be doing out on a major route like this, officer?
Right.
Hey, don't give me any of your lip. Well, you sound like wise New Yorkers to me.
Well, yes, we are from New York. That's why we'd like to go right on through, may we?
That's like waving a red flag at me, buddy.
What do you mean?
Well, giving me a lot of back talk and sass, and then capping it off with telling me you're from New York.
Well, we're not
that really
giving,
does it in, boy.
not giving you any back talk and sass. We're supposed to open tomorrow
Well,
in
saying
Meredith.
that what are the kids doing out on a major highway like this? That's no way to talk to a uniformed upholder of the law. You know that.
I think he's probably right, Harry.
Now, you see, you don't have
Thank
an
you.
inspection on this bus. You caught my eye as you went by. I was dozing down there on back Billerica. You guys went by, and I picked you up out of the corner of my eye. This is an old bus.
I've been
And,
keeping the speed down to 55, though, officer. I've been
you
very
s-
careful to follow the government's mandate
You
in
see,
that.
this bus hasn't had a safety check in years. You see, you're supposed to have a thing right here in your windshield.
Well, Mr. Marlowe back there was supposed to take care of it. Greg,
Yeah.
the officer says there's no inspection sticker on this Mal Hallett bus.
Well, don't hang it on me. You're
Well,
the driver.
You arranged to hire it, didn't you?
You're the driver. Talk him out of it. Do something.
So our friends are momentarily halted on their way to New Hampshire. In our next episode, the movies beckon, and you want to be here when the director, Hastings Palmfeather, calls.
Action.
That's in the next exciting episode of Mary Backstage Noble Wife. Word Carr speaking. Over the years, Greg Marlowe has come up with some highly outlandish theatrical projects for his stars Mary and Harry. Broadway plays and movies, of course, but also a magic show at one point, a water spectacular at another. And one day at the Backstage home...
Do you mind if I use your phone for a moment, Harry?
No, help yourself, Greg.
Oh, good. Operator.
Who are you going to call, Mr. Marlowe?
Operator. I'd
Don't-
like to speak to Queen Elizabeth.
Don't interrupt.
What'd he say?
Queen Elizabeth.
Queen Elizabeth, yes, England.
Queen Elizabeth in England.
Greg Marlowe, Marlowe.
Greg,
Harry, you don't mind if we put this on your bill, do you?
well, I thought you were probably just calling New York City.
What's he calling Queen Elizabeth
Queen
for?
Elizabeth.
I think he is, flipped.
Oh, no, come on now, Calvin. Greg, you have
I'll
some
talk
reason.
to anybody there, yes. Prince or anybody.
You have a reason
I
for
can't get over him.
calling Queen Elizabeth?
Quiet, please.
Greg, hang up just a minute so we can discuss
Now,
this.
have the, operator, would you hold that for a moment? Thank you. Now, what did you want?
Greg, you've taken us all aback a little bit. What reason do you want to suddenly call Queen Elizabeth for?
I have this idea for show, and
Well, she's not in show business,
No,
Mr. Marlowe.
she's a queen of a country. She couldn't be bothered with show business.
Even if she
Yeah.
wanted to.
What's that?
Even if she wanted
Yeah,
to.
even if she wanted to, Mr. Marlowe.
Oh,
She
no.
couldn't. She
You
has
couldn't.
her duties to the country.
No, that wouldn't be fitting for the sovereign of a country to go into show business suddenly.
I think you'd better hang up, Greg, and let's discuss
look,
this thing.
why don't you mind your business, and I'll take care of my affairs.
Well, Greg, it's our telephone.
Let him. It's his affair.
You've been out of
anyway.
work a long time, Harry.
I know that.
Operator, would you put that call through, too?
Phone call to London, England.
And I'd like to talk to Norman Lear in Los Angeles. I have a wonderful idea for him.
Greg, you can't make two long-distance calls at once.
Why, Napoleon could do two things at once.
You know, I think the royal family is out of London on vacation. I think they're in the country.
Operator, I have further information. They're probably not at home. They're probably out in the sticks somewhere.
Balmoral.
Would you put a tracer on them?
Well, they won't do that, Greg.
Put a tracer on the Queen of England. He's really flipped.
And so Greg doggedly pursues an unusual path in attempting to guide Mary and Harry's future. But a real surprise is in store for them in our next episode, and you want to be here when we'll hear Greg say,
You haven't a thing to worry about, Concertmaster Bagatelli. Of course they sing opera.
That's in the next exciting episode of Mary Backstage Noble Wife. Word Carr speaking. After much cajoling by Greg Marlowe, Mary, Harry, Pop, and Calvin have agreed to an appearance at La Scala Opera House in Milan. And it's minutes before curtain time now at the opening of La Traviata. All day, hasty rehearsals have been held, costumes fitted, the scenery secured. Now, as our friends seem to be having mixed emotions, we hear...
Can you read this cue card?
Let me see. Hold it just a little bit nearer the light there, will you, Greg?
Can you see it?
Oh, boy, I'm nervous.
Well,
yes.
you're nervous. I am just... I'm at wit's end.
Well, you make the first entrance, Mary.
Yes,
At least
I
that's...
know.
Boy, I wouldn't want to be in your shoes, Mary.
Yeah, you have to go out first.
Well, you look pretty peculiar in Mary's shoes.
I've been in a lot of pickles, but I don't think I've ever been in a tighter one than this.
I think, Mr. Marlowe, you kind of bit off more than you could chew when you suddenly decided we'd go into an opera here.
We could all like a little glass of wine to
Oh.
maybe help relax
Oh,
before you
certainly.
start.
That certainly would help. You know, I'm not sure I even know the story. We've been rehearsing so steadily today and all through the night.
That'll be enough for me, Mr. Marlowe. I just want that's fine.
How
How about you, Harry?
What?
Want a little wine?
Oh, yes, sure thing.
Not for me. I don't want to do anything with my throat till I sing.
No. Greg, do you think the audience will mind us holding the music as we walk through the opera and singing the songs?
No, I understand they're a very understanding crowd here, and there's not a seat to be had.
Yeah, I've
here at
heard
the
it's
Scala.
sold out. The
Yeah.
word's gotten around that you're opening in La Traviata. That certainly will be a...
I just took a
Exciting
peek through the
thing.
curtain, and
Yeah.
boy, everybody is there, and the mink coats, and
Oh,
the
boy.
diamonds, and the tiaras.
Oh, I hope
everybody who is anybody
yeah.
is here.
I hope they're not expecting too much, though, because I'm beginning to have second thoughts about singing a whole opera.
You know, now that I drink this wine, I think they're going to get one swell show, and they're lucky to be here.
Look, I think I'm going to be able to play the role of the beggar there like it's never been played or sung before.
That's the way I feel about it.
That's what
Don't forget.
Oh, wait. Oh, this is...
Oh, don't tell me we're that close.
This is it, Greg.
Oh, the musicians are warming up. Oh, my.
Well, at
Oh,
least my
boy.
part is small. I'm just on one scene. I get off, and then I could go out front and watch the rest of you
Now,
sweat.
let me see. Murray, you go out first.
Yeah, Mary's
And
first.
be careful with that hairstyle now. Don't get it caught in the curtain.
Right. Oh, Mary, incidentally, break a leg.
I beg your pardon.
It's a theatrical term meaning good luck.
Oh, well, break your leg yourself.
All right, I'll try to.
I
You
hope,
too, Greg.
Hope none of us do.
No, you don't say it to the producer.
Any
just
last
to the performer.
last minute instructions, Mr. Marlowe?
Just go out there and remember.
Oh,
Good luck.
this is it. And so the curtain rises on La Traviata. Will this be another triumph for Mary and Harry in their continuing careers, America's favorite family of the footlights, or a disaster unlike any they've yet experienced? You'll want to be here to learn the answer when we'll hear Calvin say,
This is unlike anything we've yet experienced.
that's in the next exciting episode of Mary Backstage Noble Wife. Word Carr speaking.